and followers. Well, it's time to try and install vCenter again. Now that I have a forward and reverse domain lookup working for a vCenter IP address. So gonna give that a try again and see how it goes. Why not? So let's give that a try. And as usual with this thing, we start off with a image from the vCenter 6.7 DVD. I'm on Windows Server 2019, and I'm going to find the DVD. It's mounted here on E. ISO image. Go to the installer right here. Win32, and hit this guy here, the installer. This will bring up the installer. Can close this now. So I wiped the image off of the host. So here's my ESXi host. There's no virtual machines on it, 0. And I'm going to try and put vCenter on the first thing I do. So the only thing different from the last attempt of doing this is I'm going to use my own DNS server. Hopefully that'll fix all the problems I had. So let's get to it. Accept the license. And yeah, use a little one here. Do that. All right, so one thing I didn't do is add a record for my vCenter server name. That wasn't too smart, was it? So I am going to have to do that and put that on Windows. So let's see if we can do that before we get started. This stuff has to all be in the same domain and everything. So let's go and do that. I'm then going to go here to say DNS Desktop App right there. Okay, here's the DNS app. Action. I like this action. Let's see, new zone. No, I don't want a new zone. Add, remove columns. Don't care about that. New zone, new zone. Look up zones. There we go. Let's see if that'll work. Add a new A record. Yeah, right there. There we go. Okay, I'm going to call this thing ESXi 01. ESXi 01. 01. Maybe just 1. Heck with the 01. ESXi 1. Dot. Okay, parent domain. ASAP. I guess I could leave it blank. IP address of this thing is going to be, let's see if I can get the IP address out of it. Ping. I was hosting this thing on Yahoo domains for domain server, which just did not work. So I'm transiting all this stuff now to Microsoft Windows DNS, which hopefully is a smarter way to do it. I guess we're going to find out, right? All right, there's the IP address right there. Maybe I'll keep it 01. That's what I'm used to. All right, so ESX01 is defined. Add host. And that's it. The host is live now on our DNS. We have vCenter, we have ESXi host. That's all we have right now. And this I will change to ESXi host. ESXi 01.asap. There, that should work. Now, does the name in that thing have to resolve right? I don't know. Can I ping it? Let's make sure it pings. I should be able to ping it with just one name here. Ping ESXi01, and it should resolve, right? It doesn't. Whoops, that's the wrong name. Okay, that works. So I'm a believer. That's a valid FQDN. And the root password for this thing over there is what? It's some horrible, nasty password that the cloud provider gave me. I'm copying from the provider. I'm pasting the password into here. Okay, let's see now if that'll log in to the host and work. Next. I've seen this before. Blah, blah, blah. It worked. What do you know? Okay, so we're starting over here with this appliance. I'm going to put in the root password, a new one. Okay. All right, so that's going in. Going to use tiny, which is fine for me, for what I'm doing. And data store looks fine. Has about the same space it had. And thin is fine. Let's go ahead and back in there. All right, so this is about where I was. So I know I don't want this thing on the internet network. I'm going to go on the VM network. And this I had wrong last time. And we're going to change this thing. Now I don't know where it found that from. But vCenter .asap, and the IP address for that thing was what? Let's make sure this thing goes right for once. Let's keep a CMD window open here, right? Okay, ping. We want the IP for what? The IP for vCenter, right? Yep. Ping vCenter. All right, and it's not working because it's not up yet, but there's the IP right there. So we're going to capture that IP and use that one. So we'll take out this one, which is public. And I'll put in this one. And the subnet mask, I think if I want to reach things all through this cloud, I need 219 in here. So let's do that. And this is where I had trouble. So with this, I need to put in the actual IP of our local DNS server now, which is called a what? It's actually the server I'm on now. And so it's going to be the IP of the current server I'm on now, which is serving DNS. And its IP is this 10 thing here. So we're going to use that one. And the other one is outside on the internet. We don't want that one. All right, so that's going to work. Let's put that into here and see how that goes. That's wrong. IP address. Okay, default gateway is wrong. DNS server, so put that DNS server there. And this is wrong, so we have to get this thing fixed. Okay, the gateway is what? Let's figure the gateway out from the cloud provider. The gateway on that thing is going to be having trouble getting back on the cloud. Okay, the gateway on that thing is this. So, double check. I want the internal network, VMware network is correct. IP version 4, static. FQDN, my vCenter is vCenter ASAP. vCenter ASAP is this one, yes. Subnet mask for internal network is correct. Default gateway for internal network is correct. DNS server, which is my server here I'm using right now, is correct. And why is this thing like complaining at me? Can I not do that like that? Is that right? Can't put 219? Oh, I can't put that in there, can I? It's too large of a number. Okay, well, I'll just make it 32 like that. Okay, that'll work. I wish I knew the mask this thing used, but I don't know it. Okay, so let's say this is fine and go next. Okay, that's a problem. And that gateway's wrong. I need a 10 gateway. I need a 10 gateway here. Logging back on the cloud. All right, getting my 10 gateway here. And I'm on the cloud. Let's take a look at what's on this thing here. Gonna find my server. All right, and where is it? This one's close enough. All right, let's get this gateway out of here. I should write this stuff down, right? But I don't. Okay, the gateway is, I don't even need a gateway for this thing really, but because this network doesn't route, it's just amongst themselves, which doesn't need a gateway. Anyway, we'll put a gateway in because my gosh, VMware will flip out if there's no gateway in there. Okay, so that looks good, and I'm glad they caught that. Everything's 10 addresses. And let's go. All right, ready to complete stage 1. Do it. All right, so this will go, and then we'll try stage 2 again, and we'll see how this goes. So, this is a hurry up and wait, and I appreciate you watching my first video here on vCenter Installer Stage 1. And what happened here? Fail to send the disk to the host. Uh-oh. Looks like I'll need to use a different host name here. Confirm close. No. Is there a back on this thing? No, there's not. Close. Close. Okay, so I might have to change the name in my vCenter now because that was installed wrongly. Let's see if I have to do that. There's my vCenter. Actually, I am going to change this thing's name. And how do I do that? I gotta go to its console, which is ugly. I can probably do it up here somewhere, but I'm not sure where. All right. I'm going to change the vCenter's address here, or its name, actually. Boy, this is a big mess. All right, so I know that the management IP of that bare metal computer is right here. So let's try and change it. See if this will work. Gotta go onto this thing and put in the password again. The password for that is what? The password for that is this password here. So put the password in here and go to here. KVM. And that'll get us on this thing. This never ends, right? Now I gotta change my keyboard to F2. Keyboard, change it. Keyboard, keyboard, keyboard. Enable F2. It's enabled. Okay, hit F2. Root. Put in some other awful password here. And this thing has a password that I gotta type in by hand, I think. Yep, sure does. I'll try and paste it, but I don't think it'll work. Okay, copy that password. Paste it. Seems a bit long, doesn't it? Yeah, I knew that wouldn't work. All right, hand type the password in there. All right, the hard password's in. And it worked. So now what is interesting is we got to change the network in this thing. So let's go here. And I think we want to change a few things here. DNS, I want to change this thing. So this is going to be, that's going to be the name of the Windows server, which I got to find. Isn't IT wonderful? All this crap you got to do. Okay, where is the Windows server? It's all about being organized, and I don't want that. It's all about being organized. All right, here's my IP address, and I want this one here. That's the DNS server that this is going to use in my private network. All right, we got a hold of that one. Let's now type that in there manually, I suppose, because cut and paste won't work. And it's locked up on me again, darn it. Oh, it's still there. All right, we got to put this thing in here. And it's called what? 10.168. 10.168. You can't really cut and paste with KVMs usually. 229, 235. 235. Primary server, darn it. Okay, it's in there. This one I'm going to get rid of. And the host name is going to be called ESXi01.asap. Good. All right, that looks better. What about not doing that? What about making it ESXi01 like that? And for this, we're going to put in ASAP like that. All right, I think that's good. So there's our DNS. It's got one server. IP isn't being used, I hope. IP, let's disable it. Can I disable it? No, I'm not going to do that. Don't want to restart the whole thing. IP4, default gateway. Yep, I think we got it, finally. DNS primary hostname. Yep. ESXi 01. All right, so we skip out of here with escape. We're going to say yes, we're going to keep that. All right, so that's all we do with that. And I'm thinking now that our host ought to be reasonable. We could restart the host. In fact, maybe that's the best thing to do. Let's try and restart this puppy here. So how can I restart it here? Darn it. F12. Put the password back in, the big, long, nasty password, which is buried now. Okay, vSphere password, here it is. Put in hotel. All right, that should give me access to this thing. And yes, because I don't care about the VMs in this thing. And F2 shut down. I do want to do a restart, F11. And that sure didn't work. So I'll have to do a shutdown, F2. There we go. And then I'm going to restart this thing with the cloud, I suppose. Going down, going down, going down. No signal on that puppy. All right, let's see if we can restart it from the cloud here. Power on. How do I reboot? Action, reboot. Oh, I did a shutdown, didn't I? Power off. Powering off this whole thing. It's powered off. Then we'll try a power on. And then try to install vCenter again. This only takes about 10 or 15 tries to make this work. It's sickening. Okay. Power on. Let's see if it'll come on. Success. So my KVM may or may not. Oh, there it is. The KVM picked it up. I like rebooting the host, ESXi host, all the way down and up when I do changes, just to make sure it's going to work right. There's no other VMs in this thing except for the vCenter VM that I'm trying to put on, so I don't mind restarting it. It'll make sure the network is in good shape. All right, so this thing is heading, it's starting up again finally. Hopefully. Okay, we don't care about that. This will now start VMware finally. And then we'll try to, well, first of all, I want to make sure the VM is blown away. Actually, there shouldn't be a VM on this thing, I don't think, because it didn't work. Okay, so 6.5. I could update this thing probably to 6.7, but I had troubles with the password with that. The cloud kept resetting the password back to the 6.5 password and all this different weird stuff, so I learned don't do that. And if ESXi 6.5 runs vCenter 6.7, which is what I need, I don't care. All right. Okay, it's up. ESXi01. Static, it looks fine. Let's try our installer again now and see what we can do here. So let's log back onto it actually and see what's going on here. Let's take a peek. Okay, there it is. And I need to put in the wacko password here. All right, there's the scramble password. Make sure there's no VM on this thing. There's not. Okay, we have no VM, which is what I want because we're installing vCenter from scratch. So now I want to go back to my Windows machine, which I dragged away. Here's the Windows machine. And I'm going to start the installer again. Okay, there's DNS running. And the installer is going to be here, here, there, there, and there. Let's try it again. All right, so all right, I'm going to take the embedded again. All right, so remember the old passwords. And the ESXi password is that wacko one, right? Okay, we got the weird scrambly password. Let's see what happens this time. All right, so it's letting us do that. Gonna put the root password back in here. All right, and we'll do a next on that. Tiny again. And thin is fine. Okay, now we're back to this stuff here. Internet, I don't want. I want VMware, IP4. I don't want any 10 addresses here. Or I do want 10 addresses, that's correct. I do want that one. And I want that, and I want that. Okay, so default gateway, DNS server, it looks good. So it kept the stuff this time. All right, am I sure this is right? Let's try it. Ding. Well, ding. If it doesn't work, we'll know pretty quick. Of course, I've been much further than this before, so if it doesn't work, we're stepping back, and I don't think it's working. It's taking its old time here. All right, so I'm wondering if I got the networks backwards here. Network connection, blah, blah, blah. Confirm, close. Let's do it again. I'm actually going to try a different network here and see what it does. All right, that looks fine. I'll put the root password in here. Okay, it looks like I got an SSL back from it, so looks like it might have worked. All right, there's that. So I know my internal addresses are 10 addresses, which is what I want. Gonna go with tiny again. Thin is fine. All right, back to here. So I don't think this network's what it really wants. That's the network on the actual host. Okay, the vCenter ASAP will be at this 10 address here. And let's do a ping. That's the right address, right? And that is working and pinging, right? So I know that works. The gateway I'm sure works too. DNS Server is what I'm using on this actual server here. That's pinging myself, really. 10.168.229. So what matters is anything here should resolve into a pingable address. This one won't, but this one should, and this one should, and they do. And the ESXi 01 should work too. Okay, this isn't going to work, but I'm just going to try it for the heck of it the way it is now. And I'm sure it'll fail, but let's just do it. I don't think this is right, but let's just try it. I'll be very surprised if this works at all, because it's on the wrong network. So then what did I do on the host that broke it? I don't think anything really. Yeah, it's the same error, so what's it really saying here? Failed to send the disk to the host. Okay, so it's sending a VMDK over. That's kind of cool. So it could not send a VMDK over. And why couldn't it do that? ESXi 01 ASAP? It couldn't do it because maybe this computer can't find it. Okay, there's the log. What am I doing? Saving it, right? Saving it to downloads. Let's see what happened in that log. Okay, here it is right here. Okay, what happened at the end here? In the end, boy, it's a long log, isn't it? Okay, in the end, what happened here? Well, there's the word error right there. Can't send a file to ASAP. Please check the network connection. So what I'm thinking happened is it tried to resolve to something else. ESXi 01 ASAP, it couldn't do it. So that means my DNS on this thing is hosed up again. All right, so ping ESXi 1.asap, and it doesn't work. Oh, I know why. It's called 01. And that works. So what did I do? Did I typo this thing? No, I didn't. So what I'm thinking is happening here is it's still trying to send it off to, well, okay, we know this one's bad because the network connection was bad, because I selected the wrong network. So we know that's bad. So let's get rid of that log, delete it. And I'm going to close this and start it up again. And look at the next log it makes. So IT, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. It's not a good way to live your life. Okay, here we go. Do that, do this, do that, do this, do this. Okay, the quirky root password, we'll get a hold of that. Put that back into here. Actually, I'm tempted to do something here, you know that? Okay, we'll try something else here. What we're going to try is this. Okay. What I'm thinking of trying then is just putting the IP back in there for the ESXi host. I'll put the IP back in there, which I probably shouldn't do, but all right. So here we know that's wrong. So that's now correct. The trouble it's having is it can't really reach. It can't reach the ESXi server. So the problem is actually before this point. The problem is way before here. So, okay, so this is a problem right here where it can't really find that. So let's put in the IP for that again and call it a day. How's that? Because that's a problem. And there's the IP right there. You would think this would work right, you know what I mean? But no way. Okay, copy that. Put the IP in here. IPs always work, right? There's the IP. Take out this bracket, whatever it is. All right, so that's good to go. There's a cert, that's fine. It kept my password in there. Okay, that's good. Tiny's good. Thin is good. Okay, let's get this right. I do want VMware Network, IP4, static. That's the FQDN. That's the IP. Default gateway, DNS. All right, here we go. Here we go. And if I'm doing well, this should just start going over. Yep, there it goes. So yeah. So it doesn't like, I probably got to take the external DNS out of this thing entirely for that FQDN to work. For ESXi 01.ASCP to work, I probably got to take out the external DNS servers because somehow it's not using the one that I've configured first. It's using the others again. So since I'm not a real domain, that's a problem. I'm not a real zone. Well, I'm real in my local environment, but I'm not real to the internet. So let's try this again. So this thing will go to stage 2. And I can reach stage 2 using a VPN from where I'm sitting. So we'll do that. So it's copying a VMDK over. Which contains the Photon operating system and all the guts that make this thing go. All right, now I guess it's gonna start installing stuff. So what does this mean? I guess it means our vCenter and our hosts are named correctly. Our installer had issues, but for their own communication back and forth, this should work again. This should work now for once. All right, so I guess I'll keep the video rolling. Maybe I'll find something else to do in the meantime. I can read the news, right? Oh, that's not the news. Is Trump going to upset the election or not? Biden will ask nation to wear masks for his first 100 days, which is reasonable. Okay, Asian Americans, Georgia runoff strategy. Where can I get a vaccine? So the bad news is this thing is really stuck here. And I was noting some guy was saying it will do that if it doesn't have the right DNS. So, man, they make this painful. Just to get vCenter running, it's crazy. All right, so I'm on the host now. And I'm curious. There's going to be a VM here, right? Yep, there it is. There's the VM. There's the VM. And what's it doing here? Oh, look at that, it's running. So we actually got a VM here running. And the IP address looks right. All right, well, maybe this thing's gonna work. %. I really want to see if we can get to stage 2 in this thing. Okay, 96, we're getting close. Oh, come on. 96%. 96. So the Photon OS is running here, which is cool. That's a good thing. Photon is running. All right, so I want to see if we can get to stage 2 now. You know, I've seen guys do this in their small offices at home, and it's like, it seems to run really easy for them. Of course, they have their own DNS set up, which I have just set up, so that is how it goes. All right, look at that. Let's see if it continues. I don't think it's worked before. And it is working. Son of a gun. All right. It needs DNS, people. Gonna enable that. Okay. Do I have an SSO domain? Can I make it vSphere local? Yeah, let's do that. Password. This is good, people. Okay, next. This field's required. Single sign-on domain name. I should probably use AS. I should probably use. Should probably use vSphere dot ASAP. All right. Next. Oh man, I don't want to do this. No, 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 no. Okay, go. Ready to complete. I'll take a picture of that because I might need it. Okay. Finish it. Warning. That's okay. Let's see if it works. Hopefully this doesn't take long because it's dinner time here. All right, I'm gonna let this thing run and get some dinner. All right, the excitement up here is so intense in this office that dinner has to wait. I mean, what is more exciting than getting vCenter running, right? Actually, it is exciting because I need this for a demo, so it's taking its old time, but it's getting there. This is really good. There's a lot more work in stage 2. I'm really surprised how much more work it does. Let's see what it's doing here. Let's close the console. Boy, am I glad this is working. So the whole trick is FQDN and reverse DNS. That has to work. I didn't believe people that they needed that, but boy, you have to have it. It will not work without that. It just will not install. All right, so what are we doing here? Look at that guy there. Click, click. Let's do a monitor on it. What's it doing here? Well, it's chomping down the CPU, that's for sure. Yeah. Memory's going up, so it's putting applications in. Disk, yeah, it's been working the disk pretty good. Network. There's where the VMDK went over there, right? So I put the VMDK in and looks like it's pinned. How many CPUs are in this thing? I should give it, how many cores? I think I got 4 cores. How many cores am I configured for? I almost don't want to touch this thing when it's running. Two cores. All right, well, whatever. Let's see what's happening now. Okay, we're very close now. We are very close. vCenter's like this Ferrari or this Porsche, you're driving around in, and most of the common people like me are using the vSphere directly, so this is a real luxury item, but enterprises have a lot of vSphere running. Small fry like me, not so much. Okay, it's up and done. So it's saying I can get in there right like that with vcenter.asap 443. So that is a really good thing to have. That's a really, really good thing to have done. I'm going to copy this because this has taken me a long time. I'm ashamed to say how much time this has taken me. All right, so the video's done. This is how to install vCenter 6.5 or 6.7, vCenter 6.7. It's a pain in the Budinsky, but it's in. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it helped you. God save the Queen. Bye-bye.